breaking news for you.
Hi there, welcome to another episode of the Transfer Talk pod.
What's up, Gunners? Welcome back to Gunners Central, your home for the latest Arsenal news, transfer updates, breaking stories, and in-depth analysis. If you're a passionate Gooner, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss any Arsenal updates. Now let's get straight into today's big story. This story will focus on Arsenal's pursuit of Konsa, why Mikel Arteta has made the Aston Villa defender a priority, the latest situation over the reported £60 million valuation, and what the move could mean for Arsenal's defence as the new season gets underway. We'll also look at the alternatives, the injury situation around William Saliba and Jurrien Timber, and why this could become one of the most important defensive decisions of Arsenal's summer. Arsenal are moving closer to a major decision in their pursuit of Konsa, with the Aston Villa defender increasingly emerging as the preferred solution to Mikel Arteta's defensive problems. The Gunners have been monitoring the England international for weeks, and recent reports indicate that negotiations have intensified, although the two clubs have had very different ideas about the appropriate transfer fee. Arsenal previously saw an offer of around £30 million rejected, while subsequent reports suggested the Gunners could return with an improved proposal. Villa, however, have consistently maintained a valuation around £60 million to £65 million. More recent reports have suggested negotiations are now entering their decisive stage, with some sources even describing a potential agreement as close. For Arsenal, this is not simply another opportunity to add depth. The situation has become much more urgent because of the injury problems affecting William Saliba and Jurrien Timber. Saliba's absence is particularly significant because the Frenchman has become one of the foundations of Arteta's defensive structure. His recovery timeline means Arsenal cannot simply gamble on having their preferred back four available from the beginning of the campaign. Timber's versatility has also been crucial because he can operate at right back and centre back, giving Arteta tactical flexibility. Losing both players simultaneously leaves Arsenal with considerably less protection than they would normally have. That is precisely why Konsa makes so much sense. The 28-year-old is not an untested prospect who would need months to understand the demands of Premier League football. He has accumulated extensive experience at Aston Villa and has become an established England international. His biggest attraction for Arsenal is arguably his versatility. Konsa can play centrally, but he has also operated at right back, meaning Arteta would not be signing a defender who can only fill one position. In a long season involving the Premier League, Champions League and domestic competitions, that flexibility can be extremely valuable. The current reports also suggest Arsenal's interest in Konsa is stronger than their interest in alternative options such as Jarell Konsa. Arsenal have opened discussions regarding Konsa, but the latest reporting indicates that Konsa remains the priority target. That distinction matters because it shows Arsenal are not simply searching for the cheapest available defender. Arteta appears to have a specific profile in mind, an experienced, physically capable, technically reliable player who can immediately contribute while also remaining useful after Saliba returns. And that last point is particularly important. Some Arsenal supporters may wonder why the club would spend around £60 million on another centre-back when Saliba is expected to eventually return. The answer is that Konsa would not necessarily become redundant. Instead, he could create genuine competition across the defensive line. Arsenal have learned over recent seasons that competing on multiple fronts requires a squad capable of surviving injuries without a dramatic drop in quality. If Saliba returns, Arsenal could potentially have Saliba, Gabriel, Konsa and other defensive options competing for the central positions, while Konsa's ability to cover the right side provides another tactical solution. The financial question, however, remains the biggest obstacle. Aston Villa have reportedly held firm around £60 million to £65 million, while Arsenal have previously attempted to negotiate a lower price. From Arsenal's perspective, paying such a fee for a 28-year-old defender requires careful consideration. The Gunners have already invested heavily during this transfer window, including the reported £75 million acquisition of Bruno Guimaraes, and they still have attacking ambitions. Yet there is another side to the argument. Villa are under no obvious obligation to sell Konsa cheaply. He is an established Premier League defender, an England international, and a player who remains important to Unai Emery. Villa have already suffered several major departures this summer, including Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans, making another significant sale difficult from a sporting perspective. Reuters also reported that Villa entered the new season dealing with a depleted squad following several departures and injuries. That explains why Arsenal are facing such resistance. Villa know that replacing Konsa would be difficult, particularly at this stage of the transfer window. They therefore have little reason to accept an offer significantly below their valuation. Interestingly, reports suggest Villa are simultaneously working on defensive reinforcements of their own, including Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Football Insider has reported that Villa's pursuit of Wan-Bissaka is not dependent on Konsa leaving, but his versatility could nevertheless become important if Emery eventually loses his England international. This could potentially help negotiations because having another experienced defensive option would reduce the immediate impact of Konsa's departure. From Arsenal's perspective, the timing could be decisive. The Premier League season is already underway, meaning Arteta cannot afford to wait indefinitely. Every week that passes without a defensive reinforcement increases the pressure on the players currently available. Ben White has experience at right back and centre back, while Christian Mosquera provides another option, but asking them to carry the defensive burden throughout a demanding schedule would be risky. Konsa would immediately change that calculation. He would give Arteta a player capable of stepping into the defensive line without requiring the manager to completely redesign his system. His experience in a high-intensity Premier League environment also reduces the adaptation period normally associated with signing a defender from abroad. There is also the question of Arsenal's ambitions. The Gunners are no longer building a team simply to qualify for Europe or challenge for the top four. They are attempting to defend the Premier League title and go one step further in the Champions League after falling short last season. That requires depth in every position. Arsenal's summer recruitment has already reflected that mentality. The club have invested in midfield, added attacking options and strengthened other areas. But injuries have changed the priorities. Arteta himself has acknowledged that certain areas need reinforcement because of injuries, and the club's continued pursuit of Konsa and Konsa demonstrates that defence remains one of those areas. The biggest question now is whether Arsenal will finally meet Villa's valuation. A fee of £60 million would be substantial, but Arsenal must decide whether the cost of Konsa is greater than the cost of entering the season with insufficient defensive depth. For a club targeting major trophies, that calculation is crucial. There is also a wider strategic issue. If Arsenal fail to sign Konsa, they still have alternatives, with Konsa and Jacobo Ramon among the names reported as possibilities. But alternatives are not necessarily equal replacements. If Konsa is genuinely Arteta's first choice, abandoning the pursuit simply because Villa demand a premium could leave Arsenal compromising on a player who may become important for the entire campaign. For Arsenal supporters, the coming days could therefore be extremely significant. Konsa's reported interest in the move gives the Gunners encouragement, while Villa's determination to protect their valuation represents the main obstacle. Recent reports have even claimed that the transfer is approaching completion at around £60 million to £65 million, although that should still be treated as a report rather than a confirmed agreement until the clubs officially announce a deal. Ultimately, this transfer is about much more than replacing Saliba temporarily. It is about building a squad capable of surviving injuries, competing on several fronts, and maintaining Arsenal's standards throughout a long campaign. Konsa's Premier League experience, defensive reliability and positional versatility make him a logical target. And if Arsenal can agree a fee without overpaying excessively, he could prove to be one of the most useful additions of the window. The decision now rests with Arsenal and Aston Villa. Arsenal want Konsa, Konsa is reportedly open to the move, and Villa want a figure close to £60 million to £65 million. The next proposal could therefore determine whether this becomes another frustrating transfer saga or the beginning of a major defensive addition at the Emirates. For Arteta, the message is simple. The title race will not wait for Saliba's recovery. Arsenal need defensive strength now, and Ezri Konsa could be the player they believe is capable of providing it.